Good evening, everyone. Now's time for Enid Blyton's stories for bedtime. Tonight we're reading one story called Amelia Jane is Terribly Naughty. Amelia Jane is terribly naughty. Once Amelia Jane, the big naughty doll, discovered a tiny hole in the eiderdown on the doll's cot. So she poked her finger inside and pulled out a feather, and she threw it into the air. "Look!" she shouted. "This eiderdown is full of feathers! Did you know there was feathers in eiderdown's toys?" "Amelia Jane, don't pull out any more feathers," said the gollywog at once, seeing the big doll pull out two more. "Oh, I must," said Amelia, and she tore the hole a little more till it was quite a big one, and then she could put her hand in, and out came dozens of feathers. "Oh, I shall make a snowstorm, sang Amelia Jane in delight. She climbed up onto the nursery table and began to shake the eiderdown. Well, as you can imagine, out flew hundreds and hundreds of white feathers. Amelia Jane became very excited. "I'm making snow! I'm making snow! Come out into the snowstorm, toysies!" But the toys were not impressed. They stared at the naughty doll in dismay. What a mess she was making! Whatever were they to do? The feathers flew all about the room, floating lightly in the air, and you know it really did look rather like a snowstorm. Amelia Jane got another eiderdown, and she made a hole at one end, and she climbed up onto the table again, and she took that eiderdown, and out flew hundreds more feathers, and she squealed with delight. "You'll soon be able to make a snowman, toys." "Don't be silly, Amelia Jane," said the Clockwork Clown. "I simply can't think. How can you even be so naughty?" "Oh, it's quite easy," said bad Amelia Jane, and she shook 25 feathers down on Clockwork Clown's head. The Clockwork Mouse watched from the corner. He felt a little bit afraid of so many feathers. "I wonder if there's another eiderdown," said Amelia Jane, who never could stop once she had begun. "Oh, I believe I know that there's an old cushion, and that will be full of feathers too, and I think I saw the children put one on the top shelf in the nursery cupboard, so I'm going to climb up and see." She went up into the cupboard, walking through the cloud of feathers. She blew them away as she went. It was fun. She came to the cupboard and she opened the door. In the cupboard there were many shelves, for a great deal was kept there. The nursery cups and saucers were there, the knives and forks, the medicines, the treacle for the porridge, the honey, the jam, a tin of biscuits, mending things. And on the top shelf was a collection of things that needed sewing. A cushion with a hole in it, a tea cloth, and a tablecloth. Amelia Jane began to climb up the shelves, and then a dreadful thing happened. She caught hold of the saucer in which the tin of treacle stood, and it tipped up all at once. The lid came off the treacle. The tin lost its balance, and it fell straight on top of Amelia's head. The treacle trickled all down over her. "Oh, Amelia Jane, now look what you've done!" shouted all the toys together as they saw the treacle dripping down all over the big doll. "Oh, I don't like it. It's all sticky," cried Amelia Jane. Amelia Jane then jumped down from the cupboard, and then a funny thing happened. Feathers which were floating all over the room fell onto the sticky treacle. And before you could say, "Look at Amelia Jane," she was covered with feathers. There you go. The toys began to laugh. They simply couldn't help it. First Amelia was covered with treacle, and then she was covered with feathers, and it was all because of her own naughtiness. "Don't laugh at me, you horrid things!" yelled Amelia in a temper, and then she ran off away from the toys. But the more that she ran through the feathers, the more it stuck to her, and then she looked like a strange, peculiar bird. The toys laughed until they couldn't laugh any more. Amelia Jane got angrier and angrier, and she tried to tear off the feathers, and she lay on the floor and she rolled about to get them off, but she forgot that there were hundreds of feathers on the carpet. And then when she got up, so many more were stuck to her than ever. She was the funniest sight I've ever seen, said the gollywog, wiping his eyes, for he had laughed till he cried. Amelia Jane caught up with a stick and ran at Gollywog. She hit him hard, and then she hit the teddy bear, and then she ran at the frightened Clockwork Mouse in the corner. She was a big doll, and she could hit very hard indeed. The toys were really terrified, but Amelia couldn't stop. "I'll teach you to laugh at me," she cried. And then something happened to Amelia. The back door of the nursery opened softly, and in came the big black kitten. And there was Amelia Jane, covered all in feathers. And the cat just stopped and stared. "What? What? A bird in the nursery? Wow, I'll catch it for my dinner." And then it was his turn to frighten Amelia Jane. She ran into the corner and she hid there. "No, don't catch me! Don't catch me!" she cried. "I'm Amelia Jane!" "Rubbish, meow," said the cat. "You've got feathers growing on you, meow. You dolls don't have feathers, meow. I'll catch you. Meow, you most peculiar bird, meow." He crept up quietly to the corner. Amelia gave a squeal and ran away. She hid behind the brick box, and the cat followed again and crouched down, ready to spring. Amelia cried for help. "Toys, save me quick, save me quick. Come and help me. Everyone, help me. Toys." But the toys thought that it was time that Amelia was punished. She had hit them all very hard. Now she must see what it was like to be chased and hurt. The cat sprang. He landed right on Amelia Jane and squashed all the breath out of her. He dug his claws into her and he scratched her. She squealed and squealed. The cat sniffed at her in disgust, and then he jumped away. He couldn't bear the sticky treacle on his paws. Ugh. Oof. There you go. Sticky treacle. Yay, that's not a bird, is it? No. You're a doll after all. He walked away with the tail in the air. He said, "Oh, well, if you must dress yourself up in feathers and treacle, meow, you must expect trouble, meow." Amelia Jane cried so much that the toys came to comfort her. She had had her punishment, and they were too kind-hearted to keep away any longer. "Now listen to me, Amelia," said the gollywog sternly. "We'll wash the treacle off you. But after that, You must pick up every one of the feathers, and you must stuff them all back into the eiderdowns and sew back up all the holes. Do you hear?" "Yes, golly," said Amelia Jane. In a small voice, they took her to the basin and they washed away the treacle, and it made her very wet, and she had to dry herself by the fire. And then she had to pick up all the feathers, and nobody helped her. Because Golly said, she really had to learn that she must pay for being naughty. And then Amelia put the feathers back in, and she sewed up the holes in the eiderdowns. "I've done all you said," she said in a sorry sort of voice, "and I won't be bad again." But nobody believed her, and I don't expect any of you do either. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.